My name is Judy, and they call me Miss Judy. I joined Brighton in 2014 when it was beginning.
So my name is Mrs. Maina. I'm currently the grade 3 class teacher. Also a teacher in charge of lower primary. That means grade 1 up to 3.
I was called by Mrs. Vicky. Then I didn't know she was Mrs. Vicky, but she identified herself, and then she told me that so this was the interview at the Brighton International School. So I asked, where is that? Then she told me Katani. I've never had Katani before. So she had to explain Syokimau and me Syokimau in Mlolongo. So she told me Syokimau, Katani. So I came up Katani Road. When I reached there, she had told me I have to take a motorbike. But still I had doubts, so I had to ask the motorbike guy, are there matatus that go to Brighton? She told me, no, madam, it's very far. Then he told me that you have to take a motorbike. Then I asked him, how much am I supposed to pay? Then he told me it was 300 shillings. I must be very far. Then he told me, madam, huko ni mbali sana na barabara ni mbaya. So here that I freaked out. But I had to take the motorbike because I needed the job. So I took the motorbike, but I had to hold it very tight until it took me. Madam, ni mbali lakini tashikilia pole pole. So we came. It was not an easy journey, but we arrived. But I was muddy because it had rained the previous night. And there were puddles of water all over the road. Actually, it's not really that road. It was rough road with potholes all over, so we have to dodge the potholes. So when I arrived, I looked at myself and I wondered, am I supposed to go for this interview or I go back? But when I reached, I find this kind lady, Mrs. Ndiki, and she looked at me. I looked at her, I looked up. I was hand-tied because of the way I looked. I was all muddy, but she told me, don't worry, we understand. At least that way, my legs rolled down, and then she gave me a towel, and I wiped myself. Then I was shown into the room, and I was told to wait there for the interview. It was very challenging. My heart was throbbing. Yes, that's how I reached Brighton. First, I did feel like coming for the job here. I felt like looking for elsewhere where there are roads, and it looked like a desert, our forest. Because there were grass all over and bushes. When we came, I was asking that guy, kuna watu wanaishi huku? And then he was telling me they are there, but I was asking how do they use their cars? Then he told me kuna barabara tu moja. And that road is bad when it rains. Actually, when it hasn't rained, the road was just fine. But when it rained, it was a nightmare.
So I got to know about Brighton through a friend. So she told me there's a new school coming up in a place known as Katani, and they need teachers. And she gave me the date for the interview. So I had no idea where Katani was. So she told me it's between Syokimau and Mlolongo. So when you get to Mlolongo, just tell them you want to go to Brighton International School. So that's what I did. I came all the way to Mlolongo, but the only mode of transport was motorbikes. We didn't have any roads in place, so we were using any shortcuts. So I got to Mlolongo, and the guy told me, yes, it's a new school, I've heard of it, I know where it is. I'm telling you, that was the longest journey I've ever been on. Number one, the place was so underdeveloped. There's no residential areas, there are no commercial places, so it was purely like a jungle. So it felt like I'm going on safari. And because of the poor road networks, that journey took, I think, close to an hour. So at some point, I almost gave up. I almost went back, but he kept saying, no, Brighton is ahead, let's keep going. So after like an hour's journey, we got to Brighton. I found Mrs. Ndwiki. They were still doing the preparation by themselves. It was Mrs. Ndwiki that particular day with an apron. I think she was cleaning the toilets, the children's toilets in kindergarten. So I gave her my CV, and then she told me, come on a certain date, that's when the interviews will be. So come that date, at least I knew the area now well. I took a motorbike and was here in good time. We did the interviews, it was on a Friday. So after the interview, they told us, those of us who had been shortlisted, they told us, guess what, school starts on Monday. So if you're moving, You have how many days? 2 days to move. So I remember there was a group of us who are still here in Brighton. There was Miss Judy, Miss Emily, myself, others have left. So we are in Katani, we need a house. There are no homes available because people are not doing rentals. There were very few residential homes. So luckily we managed to get rooms. So on my way out, I was actually the last person to get. We go to this plot and that lady was renting out homes, but her only room that was available, it was a chicken coop. So I told her, I don't have a choice, I will take it. So imagine, my very first house in Katani was a chicken coop.
We came, there were no houses, like nice houses, like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. They were single houses. Actually, majority of the houses were Mabati houses, and people live in Mabati houses. So the other houses were just very big and small in size. So we had to squeeze our things out. So we came and we looked for the houses, but it was a challenge to get them. But we found them at last, and we were able to move before January 2015.
So she cleaned it so that by Sunday I'll be ready to move in. So some of my staff stayed in her house, and the rest I was able to fit, like a bed, basics, a bed, a chair, and that is how life started in Katani. So now we've come to Katani and we have to come to school. I remember I think we only had one bus to ferry the children because we only had 30 children the whole school. So it rained that particular year. It really rained in January. So there's no road, there's no transport. You wear shoes because we were not even ready for a rainy season, because when you came for the interviews it was super dry and very dusty. Then come Monday, it is raining cats and dogs. You cannot get to school. The shoes you're wearing, when you step and you try to take another step, you move with a big mound of mud. So imagine it was impossible to walk. So imagine we could remove our shoes. Unabeba your shoes with your hands and you walk to school. There was no transport all day from center to Katani. It was a rough start. That January that welcomed us, it was not easy. Sometimes the children would come to school, they're getting here, it's lunchtime. So they have lunch, they go back home. It was really rough. The first years were not easy for us. But by and by, things went on becoming a bit easy for us. So yes, I can say the beginning was quite tough, but it's been worth it.
Now with the tarmac road, we are more advantaged because the enrollment is more. Because most of the parents feared the road. Actually, they used to come and some of them used to turn back without reaching Brighton. But right now, they come all the way and they like the roads. There before, they used to go to Syokimau schools, those small schools. Then they will tell us, we bring them when they are older because of the road. When it is sunny, when it is not rainy season, usually the dust was too much because the road was not tarmacked. And when it is rainy, the buses used to get stuck. So they decided to go to Syokimau schools. But now we are able to get more enrollment because of the road. So it's a plus for us. Also the swimming pool also is another added advantage for us because most of the schools don't have the swimming pool. And the extra curriculum, the sports, the music, ballet, those ones are a plus to us. Yes.
For me, I won't say one memorable moment. I have like bits and pieces from here and there. So when we started, the whole school had 30 children. So that was kindergarten, grade 1 and 2. So you can imagine a whole school of 30. So we were a close-knit family, very, very close. So at the end of every term, we used to have musicals or concerts. So remember this very first one. We invited all our parents. And the musical was about a bird that had died in the forest. And we were mourning the bird. I remember the musical was known as Cock Robin. So it was kind of funny, but the parents came and they seemed to enjoy. So it was a funny experience, but it was also good. It brought us together, we felt the warmth. And then even during the early days, we used to do a lot of marketing. Because the teachers, we had to market the school so that we could get students. So this particular time we went to Gateway Mall. It was around Christmas. So we did a musical performance for people at Gateway Mall, for the shoppers, and they loved it. The experience was just good. The exposure was nice. The children loved the experience. But this last one, We were in the kindergarten hall because that was our everything. It looked like an auditorium back then because it was the only big room in Brighton. So during devotion, one of the teachers, I don't know if it was Mrs. Ndwiki or Mrs. Kitao, she asked the children, what is your vision for Brighton? Or what would you like to see us become, or Brighton become in the future? So this one boy was known as Nobel. I was in grade 2. He said, in the future, I want Brighton to have a university. So we were shocked because back then, as far as expansion was concerned, we thought the best we can ever do is maybe a GCSE. Because CBC was not in the radar anywhere, so we were not thinking of high school. We were just thinking kindergarten and primary school, and maybe a GCSE. But this boy's vision, I'm beginning to think it will come to pass. Because now, we have junior high, we have senior high. What's the limit? There's nothing that is limiting us. So those very few early experiences here and there, but they are quite memorable to me. Yes. We are not only just a school that develops the children's academics or physical development or emotional development, even spiritual development. When Mrs. Kita was starting out, she kept telling us, my dream or my prayer, before she actually got into schools, her prayer was that God would give her a platform where she would teach the word of God to children. And she has been so faithful. Daily devotions take place in Brighton, which makes us a school that is different from other schools. Our environment is also very, very beautiful and very clean. We are quite away from a lot of hustle and bustle that comes along with modernization. So the children get a quiet environment to grow. And yes, we have a friendly staff. I think it's a beautiful school. We have plenty of space for the children to play, a lot of ECAs where they can take place and go in different avenues. So I think that makes us stand out. I think first and foremost, I'm humbled that God gave us this opportunity to carry on the vision together with Mrs. Kitao. And the Bible says if you're faithful with a little, God gives you more. Imagine what you see today started out with 30 children. 30 children. And before they started out Brighton, they had done so much marketing. Like we are told, 5,000 flyers had been dished out. So you can imagine they were waiting for numbers. But then God decided you're going to start with 30. Show me how you're going to be faithful with these 30. Then from there, we'll decide whether you're growing or not growing. So she was faithful in her vision and we did our very best. I mean, there has been challenges. We have fallen short one way or another, but Mrs. Kitao never gives up. She's actually a very, very strong lady. So from being faithful in 30, now we are going to close to 700. So for just that opportunity to serve God, to raise Jesus, a godly generation, I am humbled that I am part and parcel of this process. So I thank God for the far He has brought us, and I cannot even wait to see what He has in store, because there is no limit.
My special wish is to start the IGCSE section, because I know the enrollment will go high, because there are many parents who wish to join their children to join the IGCSE. And my wish is also to grow more and more, and we open other branches in other towns. Yes, like Kisumu, yes, Eldoret, Nyeri, Nanyuki, Meru. Yes, we should have many branches. Yes, that's my wish. And my wish is also God to bless this theater and to give her long life so that she can oversee all this. Yes.
So first and foremost, my prayer is to Mrs. Kitao that God will sustain her. She's like a tree. A lot of us are feeding from the fruits that she's producing. Not only to the teaching staff, but even to the children. Because our children stand out. Everywhere they go, they stand out in so many good ways. So I pray that God really sustains her. I pray that God really enables her to continue doing what she's doing. I pray that God sustains us as well to be able to carry out the vision and the assignment that He has placed in Mrs. Kitao's heart. And I cannot wait to see Brighton International School, Mombasa. Brighton International School, Kisumu, Nyeri, or even Rwanda, Tanzania, whatever or wherever God is willing to send us. I cannot wait to see what He will do for Brighton International School. So watch this space. Watch this space.